Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Alva, Oklahoma. You can only see it when you get within about 100 yards of it. We have a fog alert. And as I was listening to our radio station this morning, I heard our weather, it comes from Channel 9 during the week and Channel 4 during the weekend. So we keep you in pretty good shape with weather conditions, that there's a storm moving in, may produce tennis ball size hail. That's kind of big. That's kind of big for windshields and stuff, and a possible tornado. So we welcome you to northwest Oklahoma. There's going to be wind come with it to 85 miles an hour. Now, one of my daughters, the blonde, lives, I have a blonde and a redhead. The blonde lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and they do hurricanes. So I know that to be classified a hurricane, the wind conditions have to be at least 85 miles an hour. So, in effect, we're going to have hurricane winds. So, once again, we welcome you to northwest Oklahoma. Now, we did get some rain. I slept through it because farm kids do that, because you're not going to work the next day, so you sleep comfortably. But I had standing water, so I called my neighbor and said, "How much rain did we get?" And he said 3/4 of an inch. That's been a while since we had any significant rain. So this is Rose and Ben. Mainly it's Rose, but I'll be along. And Cade Kennedy, our producer-director, who is the associate SID at NWOSU, will be along to tell us what's happening up on the Hill in the areas that he knows about. And that would be the sports areas. In high school, Alva's still alive. The Gold Bug's still alive, and the Lady Rails bowed out in where were we? Clinton at the Red Tornado Dome the other day. After winning the region, they bowed out in the first round of area. Congratulations to them. So we have already begun slow pitch softball. It's slow pitch in the spring, fast pitch in the fall. And the Winoka Lady Rails will be playing this Thursday or Friday. Wait a minute. This is Thursday. Maybe I better get a little more definite about that, but I'll come back with that information. Rose and Ben on the radio rodeo. It has absolutely nothing to do with rodeo, but may someday, and it fits well in there. So there we are. Rosie, how are you?
Oh, I'm just great. It's a good day to be alive in Alva, Oklahoma, even if it is foggy. I got a little fog this morning when I went to go swimming. Had to go slow. Now, I just have been noticing, we're sitting here beside each other in the radio station, and I have to comment on your socks. Did you buy those, or did someone give them to you? If you bought them, whatever, is this a hidden message? I need to describe them.
Please do.
They have fried eggs and fried bacon on them, and I've never seen anybody wear socks quite like that. Do you have an answer?
I do. As a matter of fact, you have stumbled into quite a little deal here. There is a woman in Ponca City who's in one of the same organizations that I'm in, and we are in service on the national level. So we go where they have conventions and conferences and stuff. And she bought me. There's a place in Las Vegas, probably a lot of places, but there's a place in Las Vegas in one of the, you know how they build these shopping centers around casinos. And I think this is around Bally's, I'm not sure. But it's called Sock It To You. And it is nothing but socks. I have some of the darndest socks. And then I buy stuff for her that she wears, like scarves and stuff like that. And like this year, the national conference was in Oh, man. Okay. This is only going to take me a minute because this is a really well-known city. It's in Canada. They have a hockey team.
Vancouver?
Yes, thank you very much. How did you guess it the first time?
I don't know. It was lucky.
Vancouver's a heck of a place. I used an Uber every day for 5 days, and it was always a Tesla. Nobody drove a Chevy or a Ford in Vancouver that I could see.
But at least someone was driving.
Oh yeah, yeah. That is a high dollar place, beautiful place. So I bought her scarves from Vancouver.
Okay, what else are on these crazy socks that you can remember?
Well, let me give you a little more information. I have underwear to match. You want to check on that while we go to commercial?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay, well, we'll be right back here with Rose and Ben on the radio. We have a guest this morning. I guess she'll need to step outside. I certainly don't want you to be robbed of the... now, I got to warn you, these are Speedos. We'll be right back after this word.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV.
Alva State Bank and Trust Company, older than Oklahoma, big enough to serve you and small enough to know you.
We love to give back to our customers. Did you know Alva State Bank offers a great rewards checking account program? That's right. You can earn cash back or high interest with our Kasasa accounts. We will even refund you up to $25 in ATM fees.
How do I qualify?
It's simple. Just swipe your debit card 12 times, sign up for online statements, and have one ACH credit or debit post to your account.
Can I do it online?
Yes. Just visit our website at www.alvastatebank.com to see if our Kasasa Rewards program is right for you. We make banking easy. Whether you're at home, the office, or in your car, our online or mobile banking options help you juggle busy schedules and financial needs.
We plant roots where others have branches.
Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Rosie and Ben on the radio. We appreciate you joining us Thursdays at 11 o'clock. We want to give a big shout out to Jacinda. She couldn't join us this morning, but she's going to before long. They've got a big event coming up in Winoka on May 2nd. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we want to give a big shout out to Melinda Barton at up on Cades Hill. Past Cades Hill a little bit at Northwest Tech Center. She and some folks are going to be on with us next week. We have big stuff coming up, and this is an exciting time to be in Northwest Oklahoma. Rosie, your hair looks darling. Are you going out after we finish up here?
Well, no, because you always tell how old I am, and I can't get a boyfriend.
Well, it's not your age. It's that Kate and I rather are protective of you, and we insist on a Dun and Bradstreet. And these deadbeats that you're drawing they can't even spell Dun.
Oh, dear, that's awful.
I mean, when you tell a guy you need a Dun and Bradstreet and he writes down a note that says DONE, we don't want to hook you up with that guy, Rosie.
Well, thank you. Keep up the good work.
Oh, you're welcome. You can't imagine this bunch of, whoa. Boy, it's the dregs of society.
All of the applications you've had.
Yeah, all three. Yeah. I think the guy from Kiowa is probably my favorite so far. You taught school up there, right?
Yes.
You never did mess with any of the students, did you? I think this guy might have been a student.
I hope not.
Yeah, surely not. Surely not. So, what?
I was too old by the time I got to Kiowa.
No, honey. No. You're still not too old. So, 91 years of wisdom Rosie brings to us, and you get a reward other than listening to this incredible program. You get a reward that you can really take to the bank, because Rosie will give her thought to live by at the end of the program, and it will make your life monetarily, spiritually, and emotionally better. Am I correct?
Yeah, I have a really good one.
We'll be the judge of that. We will. Okay. Our guest today has worn many hats. Many hats. She's down to one or two hats. Our guest today is Susan Bradford. She was, for the longest time, the mayor of Winoka. She is now she insists on the term interim director of the Northwest Treatment Center in Winoka. Welcome to you.
Thank you, Ben. I'm glad to be here.
We're really glad for you to be here. And you, I believe, in my opinion, this is an editorial comment, are the director of a wonderful facility that's kind of a well-kept secret.
It really is. In Northwest Oklahoma, we don't have a lot of resources, and Northwest Substance Abuse Treatment Center is certainly a premier resource for women and children experiencing the horrors of drug and alcohol abuse in all over the state of Oklahoma.
That's really something that jumps out at me. Is this treatment center has been in Winoka since, I think, 1997. Does that sound right?
That's right. Originally, it was established as a private enterprise. And when the private enterprise unfortunately lost their credentialing, then the state of Oklahoma, the city of Winoka moved in to keep it open, if you will. They established a trust, and we're sort of part of the government of the city of Winoka, but not really. We work independently of that, but we are a trust of the city.
There are so many things that have happened, not just occurred, but planned and done, although sometimes it doesn't look like there was much planning, in state and federal government that have so radically changed the treatment scene. It's become, once again, an editorial comment, just my opinion, almost impossible to navigate the red tape.
It's a tall order, especially since they've changed the funding method where we receive our funding for our clients. Used to be we would get paid by the state through Medicaid, of course, but now we're navigating what the insurance companies are paying us now, and we have to jump through hoops just like doctors and hospitals and so forth to get those payments. So it's certainly become a challenge for us, for sure.
And in a lot of areas, not just ours, not in ours being that treatment center in Winoka, not just that one, but I hear horror stories that, in dealing with the insurance entity, if you will, not necessarily the people, because you can't get to a person. You can only get to something that is recording and telling you that what you have won't work, but it is you are guilty until proven innocent. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Ben. It's getting paid by the insurance companies is certainly a success story. I know that I had one client in the last year that came in, and she was there for 90 days in our treatment center. The average stay is about 60 days, and then if we have someone that needs further treatment, then we can apply to the state for an extension and get them 90 days treatment, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we can make a pretty good impact on a life and a family during that phase of time. But that particular lady was there with her children and stayed for 90 days, and the insurance company deemed that she could have been treated in a less intense setting than residential, and therefore we received not one dime for treating her during that time. But we still continue to do so. Our contract with the state of Oklahoma says that we provide the services, whether they can pay or not, and therefore we still do our work with them.
Which, I mean, that's easy to say, but to actually carry that, think about this. The treatment center has a kitchen staff. In fact, when I first became aware of it, and I was talking to some of the clientele, if you will, I asked them, "What's your favorite thing about this place?" And I would ask, because they rotate out, as you said, they're there 60 days, 30 days sometimes, occasionally 90 days. So over several rotations, I would ask, "What's your favorite thing about this treatment center?" And to a person, they would say, "The food. The food is absolutely delicious."
Yes, we have a great kitchen staff and a dietitian that helps with our deciding what meals they need to have. Usually, like at lunchtime, I'll be there at lunchtime. I'm not often there at supper time, sometimes, but not always. And I'll go through and they'll have a nice salad bar for the ladies. Bear in mind, we get these clients from all over the state of Oklahoma and all different, come from all different situations. A lot of them are homeless. Many of them are homeless. Many of them come from jail. Many of them come from other shelters into residential treatment to get help. And so they've not been exposed to 3 squares and snacks a day. You know, that's not a luxury they've had for a while. So,
as a matter of fact, they've been real short on luxuries of all types for a while. And you make a couple of great points there. One is that there are all types of cultures. I mean, like right now, I can think of 3 different cultures in the treatment center that may prefer different kinds of foods. So the fact that all these people seem to be just in love with the food and the food service is a heck of a compliment. And the other point that you brought out is, I'll give you the antithesis of it. The other side of it is, we don't have the privilege. That treatment center has not have the privilege of working with very many people, very many women in this coming for treatment from Northwest Oklahoma.
No, that's true. Like I said, many of our folks come from the Oklahoma City and Tulsa area. There are only 3 state-funded facilities in the entire state of Oklahoma. We're one of those. Monarch and Muskogee is one, and Tulsa Women and Children is the other. And of course, those are in much larger areas, so they fill up very quickly. And we get referrals from all over the state of Oklahoma, from drug court, from other shelters, from other agencies, state-funded agencies that do outpatient services, and they refer clients to us that are needing more intense residential treatment. So,
our guest this morning on Rose and Ben is the interim director of the Northwest Treatment Center for Women in Winoka. Her name is Susan Bradford. She was previously, I don't know, 16 years were you mayor? I don't know a number. I just picked 7. One up.
Just 7 years, Ben.
But it seemed like, never mind. Never mind. Okay. 7 years mayor of Winoka. You know, I didn't have trouble before I met Rosie, but I now have difficulty with the truth. I exaggerate just about everything, just almost everything, except for good stuff. I don't exaggerate that, not at all.
Okay, what about the socks? Did you think I exaggerated that? Eggs, and probably people can't believe that you've got bacon and eggs on your socks, but I am not exaggerating.
No, and I had 2 other pair, but I ate them.
Okay. Let's go on then with it. Let me ask you this. How many people can you house at the same time in your facility treatment?
Well, the facility that we have is the old E.P. Clapper Memorial Hospital. And when we opened the treatment center, they converted that building into rooms. And we don't double bunk people. A lot of the facilities do, Rosie, but we usually have one woman and her children in a room by themselves. We don't have them with other clients. Because one of the things that we focus on is the reunification. One of the important things is the reunification of women with their children and establishing their parental skills and helping them with that portion. We need to house about 12 and their children in order to be in a break-even situation, just about. And over the last couple of years, that's been a challenge to keep that many in our facility.
Okay, you said that you were in worrying about being able to keep open. Did I hear that right?
Yes, we're struggling. When I arrived at the treatment center, it was January last year. We're using that term interim and laughing about it because I may be there till I die. But we've been there 14 months, and we had to reestablish certifications that were in jeopardy when I arrived. Due to some things that, were ill-advised but not our making. So we just jumped in and restored those certifications, and national and state. And then and now navigating this piece with the managed care with the insurance companies, we truly are in a month-to-month situation. We've been very blessed to have independent agencies and people who were benevolent step up and give us funds all the time, and we welcome that. Even the smallest things like local farmers will provide us with meat and things for our kitchens, so we don't have to purchase those items. And we've had direct benefactors, businesses, trusts, making funds available to us to help us over this rocky period. Right now, we have the Winoka Industrial Authority, and I guess I can say this because they did it last Monday in their meeting, provided us with some funds that we're going to be able to bridge a gap for several months that will really help us, and we're reaching out to other sources. The opioid abatement grant that you're hearing about in the news through the Attorney General's office, we're going to apply for one of those grants. That application is due by the end of the month. So we reach out to other groups like that.
It's not a matter of lack of clientele, it's a matter of lack of funds that you're speaking about. And tell us how many people are employed.
Currently, including me, we have 13 employees. Well, we run the facility 24/7, so we have to have staff on site 24/7. And we provide licensed clinical therapy. We also have 2 case managers that work with our clients for even opportunities after they get out of treatment. We try to get them into sober living or safe housing as they're needed. We try to get them connected with AA groups and other groups that can help them when they get out of treatment. And one kind of key piece to this, Rosie, is our moving the clients into a different area that they came from. This is really very important for their continued success.
In this treatment, does this ever include out of facility employment or anything like that, or is it all just therapy? Like, do they go to get a job or anything like that? It's all therapy in-house.
In-house, yes. We do. There is a little caveat. We do have a work study program where the girls are allowed to, 1 day a week, an employer has them come there and they clean it. They make a little funds, and those things they can use to purchase incidentals that they need for them while they're at the facility. We have a laundry facility where they do their own laundry and take care of their own things. So we try to, as we're doing the clinical treatment, providing clinical resources for them. We really try to focus on reestablishing, I guess, what you would call normal family associations.
Do they have visitors from relatives, or is this a hands-off? Once they go in there, they're isolated?
No, that's a very good question, Rosie. We aren't, although our program is very structured, we're not a lockdown facility. Our folks can leave at any point and frequently do because they can't handle the structure or the environment is not good. So sometimes we'll get a client in and they'll be there for 4 or 5 days, and then they'll decide this is not for me and they go back to where they came from. So we're not, even if they're court ordered, we don't lock them down. But in your response to visitation, initially when they come in, it's our policy not to allow them to have contact the first week. They don't have phone calls unless they have children that are out of the treatment in a different area. Now, if a mother comes in and she wants to have a conversation with her children that first week, we allow that. But as far as other phone calls and incidentals like that, we don't allow that. And then it's 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they've been there successfully for 2 weeks, then we allow visitation. But we do the only screening that we do, we allow the clients to come in, but folks that come in to visit have to have a UA. They're required to take a UA and show that they're not on drugs when they get there.
Well, okay, so the mother has children and she brings them to that facility. How do you, what about the children's schoolings and things like that?
Sorry. That's a really good question, Rosie. We are Winoka Public School. We have a wonderful school system in Winoka. It's just so good, and they've been wonderful to work with us, allowing the children, even though it's a brief stint, they'll work them in. If there's a rare case when the class is full and we're not able to get them in, but most usually the school system will allow them. Any child that is not school age, we have a child care facility in our building, and we have a worker that's there with the children all the time while their mothers are in treatment classes and so forth.
Rosie, you touched on something a while ago that I want to go back to just briefly. When Susan was talking about this is not a lockup facility, there is a cycle in substance abuse that is unrecognized, unpublished, but it's prevalent, and that is when you burn your life completely to the ground. It's fairly easy initially to accept that you need treatment and you need help, but after you get a few showers in, some hot water, a couple of nights sleep after a 4 or 5 day run, a couple of meals, then there is a tendency to go, I way overthought this deal. It's not, I was just having a bad day. And that's when Susan hears this client wants to be released. They don't feel like they need treatment. That is an existing cycle in any kind of hard substance abuse. I doubt that you've ever had a real bad hangover, Rosie, but no?
No, I really haven't.
Oh, my goodness. Well, then you and I are going to have to relate on another level.
The only thing I have is casino withdrawal.
We're opening another center for that.
No, we treat gambling addiction.
I'm sorry, what?
We do treat gambling addiction. Yes, we do. That's part of our program.
You're kidding me.
Not. No, that is part of the program because that's in Oklahoma. That's become a real issue too.
Oh, I promise. I promise. Whoa, yeah. So, Rosie, we can probably get you a scholarship.
Is there an age limit?
Oh, heavens, no. Heavens, no. We no. On this new treatment center we're about to open, no.
No, there's no. In fact, it's amazing. I know I have some statistics on there, but they did a survey a few years back of women in ages 18 to 49. They didn't include us in the older group, Rosie, in this inquiry, but in that group particularly, over 10% of the women that they interviewed said they had issues in Oklahoma. Said they had issues with substance abuse of some sort, and they found that the gambling is an integral piece of this. So yes, we do gambling units for treatment, and we also nicotine is not allowed because we're a state-funded facility. It's also not allowed on the premises. So quite frequently, we're helping 1-800-QUIT NOW is a favorite phone call for our group. I'm telling you.
Our guest this morning, in this segment of our conversation of Rosie and Ben, is Susan Bradford, the director of the Northwest Treatment Center Substance Abuse Center for Women. Another thing I want to touch on real quickly, Rosie, and you brought it up in another you're doing some great questions. I'm going, wow, that's I never thought of that. That's pretty good, Rosie.
Well, that's good.
That's really good. Susan referred to it a while ago after one of your questions, is the difficulty with insurance. So think about this. She talked about a woman that was there for 90 days with children. So we're feeding them 3 meals a day and 2 snacks a day. It's a live-in facility, so they have all of the stuff that you would have. I mean, there's a bed there, and the bed it has the sheets and all that stuff. There's everything you would think about if you rented an apartment, really. So we get 90 days down the road, discharge those people, we being the treatment center, submit it to the insurance, and the insurance says, no, they could have gone to another center so that wasn't as structured as yours, so we're not going to pay you. Now we're 90 days down the road. We've spent all the money on them. You know, we're a 24/7 facility. They have been 24/7 babysitting, if you will, if they have children, meals, and so on. Now we have to appeal, we being the treatment center, to that insurance company that is a zillion times bigger than we're ever going to be. And all they got to do is go, no, we're denying your claim. It doesn't even have to be because of A, because of B, because of C. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, like in this case, they said this person qualified for a less structured facility. You shouldn't have treated him, so we're not going to pay you. So we submit, it's 30 days on somebody's desk, it comes back. At the very least, what they're going to want from Susan is another half day's work of putting together the forms that they want to show why you should be paid. It goes back in, they relook at it again and deny it again. You're now 6, 7, you're now 9, 10, 11 months down the road from you spending that money. So to take care of those people, and you got nothing back. So you can see that you get just a few of those in a small facility that maxes out at 12 or 13 consumers, may have children added on. It doesn't take very many to get you in trouble.
Is it our insurance companies or is it our legislators?
Well, it's the insurance companies, but they are somewhat governed by the legislature for sure. And Susan may have another comment to this, but the new tradition of insurance companies that deal with this sort of a business is deny, deny, deny.
Yeah, Rosie, you bring up a good question. I can't say our state is doing the best they could. Unfortunately, the last year on the state level for ODMHSAS, the Department of Human Services and Substance Abuse, has been a bad year for them too, in funding funding changes and so forth. And so I know our legislature is trying to do what they can do to help us. Let me at this point give a shout out to both Senator Murdoch and our Representative Carl Newton. Had it not been for those two gentlemen, our doors would have closed a long time ago, and they have been most helpful and continue to be most helpful with anything that they're able to do. So I can't say anything bad about our legislators. They really have gone to bat for us, but they realize the value of our treatment center to not only substance abuse but also to the economy in the area. I mean, our payroll is really half of our budget, and it runs about $330,000, and we have all of our employees basically, except for a couple, live right in Winoka. So that's a sincere boost to the income there in our community, and also shout out to our local government, to Don Cummins, our mayor, and the members of the Winoka Industrial Authority and so forth. They've been very helpful to try and do what they can do because they realize the value of this business in the community.
Yes, we do have Senator Murdoch and Newton are good people.
They really are.
I want to add to that. You might give us a little idea. Do you have any idea how many people you treated, maybe like last year?
Oh, she will. I promise you. It's top of mind awareness with this one. I mean, we're talking a terrier with a sock here.
Yeah, Rosie, the last count, I haven't done any counting since September of last year, but at that point, the previous year, we had treated right at 100 women and their children during that time. Now, some of them, like I said, we don't get to keep them very long and treat them very long, but we have a significant amount. And other agencies, like there's not another residential substance abuse treatment center that provides the kind of services we have, but the state agency, NCBH, which you all have one right here in Alva, they help us with our clients if there are services that we can't provide for them. We bring them up here to NCBH, and they provide those outpatient services for them.
Okay, suppose I have a friend or relative or someone that I think needs to go into treatment, but they don't want to go. Do you have any kind of an intervention or anything like that to help?
Well, we beat them into unconsciousness, and wait a minute. I'll let Susan.
No, Rosie, unfortunately, really, from my perspective, the beginning part of the treatment process, when they will be successful, is when they realize they have an issue and are willing to come in. That's the first step, just saying, okay, I'm at the end of my rope. I need to go into a treatment facility of some sort. So that's the beginning of help, is to realize, I guess, that you need the help in the first place. Some of them get the help whether they want it or not. They come in for other reasons, that they're going to lose custody of their children unless they get into rehabilitation services and so forth. And they come in with that in mind, but then they get the treatment they need. breaking the cycle of generational addiction is that sounds real fancy, but it's an important piece of recovery for women, especially with their children. I had a lady that she came in earlier last year, and she had 3 little children with her, and she was pretty scary individual. But when she left at the end of her 90 days, it was a huge success story, and we could see before she left the change in her and the children as well. So in answer to your question, no, we can't force them. Sometimes they come from court or incarceration saying that they need to come into treatment or else they're going to go to prison or more time in jail. But sometimes that doesn't even influence them in a positive direction. So
We're talking with Susan Bradford, the director of the Northwest Treatment Center for Women and Children. We're going to take this break on Rosie and Ben. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Rose and Ben on KALV.
Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center is proud to offer comprehensive care solutions for those who matter most. From rehabilitation and palliative care to skilled nursing and long-term care, Beatles is committed to providing comfort, dignity, and peace of mind. Now, with a second location, the Beatles family continues its long-standing tradition of excellence, serving the people of Northwest Oklahoma with the same compassion and dedication they've been known for. Come by and see them at 720 North Share Boulevard in Alva. Beatles New Beginnings Nursing Center, your care, your comfort, your community.
This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Rosie and Ben on the radio rodeo. It's the most mature and latest morning show in the free world. It occurs one time a week, Thursday, unless we do it another time, at 11 a.m., unless we change the time of the. So there's some quantitative physics that are involved in that, but generally speaking, we're here at 11 o'clock on Thursday. Rosie, what you got for Susan? I mean, this is some good stuff. This is some good information here. Ask her again.
Which part?
Any of it.
Okay.
Any of it.
About how long is the average treatment for someone who comes in?
Well, the time frame of that we have them, like I said, the average treatment is about 60 days, Rosie. If we have a client that her needs, I mean, she's showing progress and her needs extend beyond that 60 days, we can reach out to the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse and ask for an extension of their program. So 90 days is about the longest in the year plus that I've been working there. That 90 days is about the longest that we've been able to keep a client in treatment. Is that long enough? Probably not. It's long enough to get them on the right track. But in previous time, I know that in looking back at records, I could tell that they had clients for up to like 6 months and so forth. But that's changed. That's changed with the state rules, ODMHSAS rules, and so forth. But we do, as I told you previously, we do try to get the women to go to an environment after our residential treatment that continues with their monitoring. Like most sober living facilities provide, they still do drug testing on the clients every week. They encourage, they help them, if we haven't already done it before they get there, they help them get work or go back to the work that they came from. They send them to AA and NA meetings. They're required to do so many. I think there's, like that initial requirement, there's a lot, isn't there, Ben, as I remember?
Well, it's a recommendation. There's only suggestions, you know. Right. The whole thing is suggestions, but we suggest 90 meetings in 90 days.
Okay, I don't imagine anybody that shows up has any kind of hospitalization insurance, do they? Where I'm going with that is, okay, so if they get sick or you have an emergency or something, do you guys have to pick up the tab for that?
Ooh, there's a dandy little question.
Here's a good question. No, Rosie, their insurance, their medical insurance, help that they're on their insurance, whether it's like we deal mostly with companies like Humana or Aetna or whatever, they will pay for their medical treatment. And one of the things that we try to do initially, if they're willing to do it, I mean, they have to be willing to do this, but we also try to get them involved with a local doctor to meet their medical needs. A lot of times, those are serious needs, especially like when we have women that are coming in that are expecting a baby, and they've been on drugs, and probably haven't had much prenatal care. We see that most of the time when we have an expectant mother come in. So we try to get them to the doctor immediately and get their prenatal care started so they can have a safe, sober, and it won't have that effect on the child when it's born. So
That's another area that you almost touched on, so we'll go over to it. That we're talking about a treatment center with women and children. We're also a treatment center with expectant women, and we can keep them and have the baby. We being the treatment center, I mean.
Oh yes, a lot of times they come in. We've had several since in this last year that I remember that they came in at 30, 31 weeks expecting, and so we don't have very much time to get them into a safe environment. But we've had several women during this past year that I'm aware of that have had their baby and then come back into treatment during that. Postpartum time, so you're dealing with your drug addiction. You're dealing with postpartum things. I mean, there's a lot of resources there that you have to draw on.
A couple of questions. How wide of an area are you probably serving here, and how do they get there?
Sorry, we serve folks from all over the state of Oklahoma. As Ben touched on earlier, our clientele does not come mostly from Northwest Oklahoma, unfortunately. And I don't know if that's just, like he said, we're the best kept secret in Northwest Oklahoma or what that is. I mean, NCBH, they channel some folks to us when they know they need residential treatment. But all it takes is a phone call. Our phone is, we're located at 1095 Nickerson Street in Winoka, Oklahoma. And our phone number is 580-824-0674. And when you call, you can ask to speak to either Susan or one of the case managers, and we'll help you. There's a little phone screening that's required. We have to take some information that we have to put into a state database for that we're required to do. And then there is a test called an ASAM assessment, and that the client needs to go somewhere and take that ASAM assessment so that we are sure that they meet the criteria, the state criteria, to come into residential treatment. Here you go.
You're listening to Rosie and Ben on the radio with Susan Bradford, the director of the Northwest Treatment Center for Women located in Winoka. We'll be back to put a wrap on this baby and to chat just briefly about a May Day festival that's coming up. It's not too soon to plan for May Day. We'll be right back.
It's Rose and Ben on KALV. Let's talk about your future. Are you looking for a career change or possibly training in computers, health careers, automotive, cosmetology, digital design, electrical trades, welding, or biomedical sciences? At Northwest Technology Center, we offer these programs for adults, high school, and homeschool students from Alene Clio, Alva, Canton, Cherokee, Fairview, Freedom, Ringwood, and Winoka. Call to enroll today at 580-327-0344 in Alva or 580-227-3708 in Fairview. Northwest Technology Center is preparing students for success in education, careers, and life. This is Rose and Ben on KALV.
Rosie and Ben on the radio with Susan Bradford, the director of the Northwest Treatment Center for Women and Children in Winoka. My question for you, Susan, is not a question. It's an answer. And that is, yes, we have some funding, or that treatment center has some funding from the state. We do not have, that treatment center does not have enough to cover, because with all of the changes, and some of the changes aren't law changes, they're just luxuries that the insurance companies have taken themselves by denying claims until, I mean, you're guilty until proven innocent, and it takes a lot of time to do that. And probably the courts are not the way to go. Maybe, I mean, think about this. If you're going to sue Aetna from a treatment center in Winoka, Oklahoma, does Aetna have more attorneys, or do you have more attorneys? And that's kind of where that deal is. So, yes, that treatment center can use some funding, some in the community funding, and it doesn't have to be big time. This doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars. What that treatment center is attempting to do is to take women with children, if that's the case, and get their train back on the track. I mean, that's Winoka Railroader talk. To restore a life, to restore to destroy that cycle of addiction that's so prevalent in homes and communities. I mean, the treatment center has discharged or graduated women who really didn't have much of a chance when they left, because they were going back to a place that was solid substance abuse in every area. So if you can help the treatment center, what's the phone number, Susan? And you could take it from the phone, right?
I sure can. You could give us a call at area code 580-824-0674. And our address, if you just want to mail a check, is 1095 Nickerson Street in Winoka, 73860. Again, like Ben said, no donation or contribution is too small to help us. We just want to continue to provide these quality services for women all over the state of Oklahoma.
That's the question. You know, there's a lot of ladies' clubs that are looking for projects. If they want to donate something, is there anything you especially need? We accept anything, Rosie. Right now we have groups of ladies who are providing us blankets. Those are necessary. Bedding of all kinds. We have twin-size beds in our rooms, so if you want to donate sheets or towels or something like that, gently used works too. It doesn't have to be brand new. Personal items, we touched on this earlier. Many of the ladies that come to us have nothing but the clothes on their backs and their children's clothes that they're wearing. So any donations of clothing items or personal items, those help us so much too. And they can give us a call at the treatment center, and we'll help them navigate that, get us to us.
That's a wrap on this week, and next week we'll welcome Jacinda and some other folks talking about a May Day festival coming up in Winoka Saturday, May the 2nd It's a big deal, a really big deal coming up, and we'll be talking about it next week. We also have another guest coming in next week with some more information that you need. My goodness, Rosie, you asked some great questions. You get a star for today on your little deal there, your little book, yeah.
Don't forget my word of wisdom.
Oh my gosh, how long we got, Cade? One, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, put down who you got, who you brought. Get your pen and pencil out. Here is the thought for the day from Rosie.
Okay. Don't tell your troubles to other people because 80% of them don't want to hear it, and the other 20% are glad you have them. So keep it to yourself.
You can live with that one, and you can live by that one. Susan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.
Cade, we're just going to have to catch up on Northwestern at the next go-round. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, on Rosie and Ben. We'll be back next week, unless, of course, we aren't. 168 years of combined wisdom here. You never know. We now return you to what we affectionately refer to as regular programming.